Oh yeah, back in this motherfucker with a whole new set of balls.
Go ahead. Would you like?
No, it's your show. You should start the thing.
I saw where your eyes just went. Do you have an issue with what I'm wearing, Kev?
Well, yes, you're wearing a bathrobe.
Dealing coke, you know?
A coke dealer's not wearing underwear.
Yeah, or just underwear.
Yes, just underwear, but a bathrobe and underwear.
And gold chain.
Not a coke dealer.
Gold chain as well.
No, that's a 15-year-old pretending to be a coke dealer.
All right, everybody. It's the Lily Pod. I'm Chris Lilly. I'm joined here for part one of White Men. What did we do now? Guest Kevin McKelvey.
I don't get it.
You don't get it? Would you like me to change?
No, I'm trying not to look at your legs. Are you comfortable with
my male form? Are you uncomfortable with the male form, I should say?
You do look a little bit like you look too comfortable in what you're wearing, which bothers me a little bit.
This is my studio, Kevin. This is the dojo. I've even got dampers on the walls.
Yeah, but you look like you're about to scratch your nuts, and I don't like that.
I have people for that.
You have people for that?
Don't you?
No, I do not have that.
Here's why you don't like what I'm wearing. Because it's the only thing you have on me left.
What, that I'm better dressed than you?
That's debatable.
No, it's not.
Because you have a better body than me. You look like
checkmate.
You look like you should be fighting in a bog somewhere.
And I like that. I'm doing a Germanic Tribes unit right now with my students.
I look like a guy who's about to retire from a long time of flying airplanes.
So you'd be like a private jet guy? Like you're flying private jets in for like people that go to the Yellowstone clubs, that kind of thing?
No, more like Allegiant Air. They fired me from a proper outfit. Yeah. And
yes, you know what you are?
I keep saying
you are in the movie Flight. You're the Denzel Washington of the movie Flight, except you kill everybody. And you know what I mean? That's how you.
I avoid that movie because I know like the anxiety it would engender in me. So.
Yeah, this plane starts like shaking, and you just keep drinking, and you start doing the prayer thing, and then everybody dies. That's how that movie with you ends.
I'm responsible for the loss of hundreds of lives.
And then later they're going to find out in the black box. They're like, oh, he was heavily intoxicated.
And this is all because you're not comfortable with me sitting here interviewing you in a robe.
I think that's
I'm now a multiple-time murderer.
You're too comfortable. That's what it is.
Well, here's the deal. Personality-wise, toss-up, you and me. Eyes, I bet I have a deeper blue. Yours are sort of like a boring, sort of a washed-out blue.
I agree. I don't have the best eyes.
Nose.
Your eyes aren't anything.
I have a better nose. Do you have?
You have a better nose.
It's a more pure nose.
Careful. I'm a German teacher.
I can't say that
using
one.
words like pure. Okay.
Oh yeah.
We're a little scary. A little scary now.
Okay, so let's get back on the highway there.
There we go.
Beard, you and me, beard, toss up. I gotta say, you're 41 now?
A fresh 41.
Fresh 41. I'm sort of a grizzled vet of 41.
Yeah. You're like a geriatric 41.
Are you?
You have a pretty good beard. I'm not gonna
remember beard era.
You know what you have? You have that Latino thing going where you get like little patches of gray. You know what I mean?
I'm 0% Latino.
Well,
you
look Latino.
Do I? Yeah, to a person who's...
You're basically Latino.
I've married into that.
Okay, so
I do listen to Mark Anthony often when I cook. Estúpido, ilógico. Can I get back to something?
Yeah.
Beard era.
Mm-hmm.
Did you notice that there was the Ned Flanders mustache era that was very short-lived? It was about 18 months. And all those guys had the cop stashes, the Ned Flanders, the porn stashes. We didn't switch up. I'm not in the dating pool, but God, if I were in the dating pool during mustache era, which I think is on its way out, I would have been cleaning up because I did not go that route. Looked ridiculous, absurdly stupid.
When did you think that started, that like mustache era? fairly recent. What, 2015 maybe?
No, I think it was
Later?
like post-COVID, mustache era. You go this is post-hipster,
That's what I'm
twist
thinking.
mustache.
The 2015 shit was
I'm not
the
talking
beard.
twist mustache.
Yeah.
I'm
Twist mustache.
twist mustache
How
where
stupid is the twist mustache?
wax. Well, yeah, you have to have suspenders and a mandolin
cringe.
and wax for your
Very
it's it's the Williamsburg Brooklyn starter kit.
Yeah, like you get it in a box, you order it.
Yeah,
It shows up, and you're like,
it's
do
called
this.
Boxley or something
You're
like.
now you got to do this with your mustache.
And it's sort of like Columbia House where you got the 11 CDs for a penny. It's 11 Suspenders and one Mumford and Sons CD for.
Dude, I was talking to my students about Mumford and Sons.
Hey,
It's like, how do you call it? It's like the perfect white people music. You know what I mean?
it's lab grown white people music.
It's like it was made by like some AI somewhere.
Yeah.
Or there's another one, a group like this, the
Lumineers.
Lumineers.
Any of the
they're like
does. I guess Mumford and Sons.
when you have like a drum hitting in the background, and there's like maybe it sounds between like 40 and 60 white people going, ha!
Yeah, it's hey home.
You know what I
hey
mean?
home
Yeah.
music. Yeah.
A lot of my students like that music. Is that shocking?
I know. I had the Mumford and Sons like download.
I never did that.
I did that.
I felt
I did it, but it was like 2011 Chris. Like
you know what it is? It's
I was also into Arcade Fire briefly, like
okay.
heavily.
I can get an Arcade Fire. I feel like that's a talented group to some degree. You know what it is? Why you got
One of the
into
best live shows I've been to.
that? I know what it is. You're Canadian. That's
yeah,
what it is.
Canadians are kind of objectively sort of dorky.
Yeah, a little corny.
Yeah.
No, I don't think you're corny as a human being, but I think that's where it comes from. That's
like
the-
it's dormant.
yeah. It's like
And
the collective.
It's like
unconscious
smoking
or
a
something.
little bit. Like
Yes.
it's like like a volcano. It's there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
That must be like that for you. Like with your inability to be good at soccer. Is that the German side of you?
I think I probably could have been a good center back. Do you know what a center back is, Chris?
Is that the guy?
Oh boy,
Boy.
it's a defender. Like I think I could have been a decent defender if I would have started early. You know, I think I
Your
could have figured it
sports career in Germany. How'd that go?
out. Not well.
How many lingering injuries do you have from your
Just
football
one
career?
major one, and one minor one.
Yeah.
Yeah, blew my shoulder out on the gridiron.
You know when NFL, I think it's Fox, when they, how they have that like ident music, na 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 na. They play it differently when a guy is injured.
He's like, is it
It
slower?
goes na 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 na.
No, it doesn't. That has never happened.
Hand to God. Hand to God.
Really?
Yeah. They're rated.
I will say this: I've always wanted to be like when in the intro of the starting line, like the lineman when they say your name, you're like Kevin McKelvey, Penn State. I always wanted to be that guy.
Yeah, no shit. The offensive linemen
Always
don't put any
no,
gumption into it at all.
because they're thinking about like going to Stormcastle and eating like a huge. You know what I mean? That's what they're thinking about.
The best ones are the guys that went to an HBCU. And I don't want to be derivative of the Key and Peele skit where it's like
We're getting close.
Cargonius
Jack
Tentonius
Amirius.
from Jacksonville Tech or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. That is a thing, though.
Yeah.
We can't pretend like that's not a thing. I could be wrong.
Blanford.
Though.
Okay,
The reason I could be wrong is because I'm a very white guy and I live in Bozeman, Montana, and I don't have a lot of black friends, so I could very well be.
I miss having black friends.
I know. I had some black
I
friends.
had a group of black friends when I lived in South Korea. My friend Brenton, my friend Alex. Brenton was from Cincy, Alex was from Pittsburgh. And my friend Tawanga, who was from Winnipeg. That tracks.
You should have that guy on your podcast.
But he sounds like PK Subban.
Yes.
You know who PK Subban is?
Yes.
From the Canadians
Yeah.
hockey team. And he's like, all right, well, what they really need to work on there is their second line. And
Interesting. Wait, no, that's
but
fine.
honestly, it's a sense of humor. It's a way of looking at the world that's just so different and in a lot of ways better.
Which perspective? What are you talking about?
Black friends. I miss.
Yeah, and like somebody making you feel a little bit awkward about yourself is kind of good for you too. I think.
Yes,
you know
that
what I
you
mean?
would never notice.
Yes. Because white people are so up their own asses. When I lived in Germany, I had this too, where it's like I had culture shock, but I felt it was so awkward. You'd be sitting and be like, "Oh my god, everything I'm saying is cringe." That's a good experience to have, I think, as a human being, to walk away and be like, "Oh man, like what was that?" You know?
Do you mean when you're speaking in German?
No, you're
to
just
Germans?
around people that where they look at you and like, oh, this is this like here's a white American guy, and you're like you're fulfilling that role, I guess, and they kind of make fun of you, or you say something and it doesn't land well or something, and then you got to kind of reel. Like I think that's good for your character.
Do you feel
that builds,
that you played
builds
a character? Sorry,
Sometimes, yeah.
that fulfilled what you thought Germans thought of Americans.
Yeah, or you'd get like someone would say something about the U.S. and then you'd feel like you need to defend it or something. It was so stupid.
So funny because I'm not patriotic in the U.S.
Oh, it's like
I'm patriotic in the U.S. in two circumstances: when I'm watching Saving Private Ryan, or when, like the Olympics, or like the World Cup, or like when the World Cup is on, or like the Olympics.
Dude, the World Cup gets me all fired up too. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, your team is German. You don't follow the U.S. MNT, do you?
No, I mean I grew up watching the German national team,
Right. And the
grandfather.
U.S. team stinks again. Like we
what
might
happened
not.
there?
We wouldn't probably get qualified if we're not hosting it.
That's right. You guys are
We're
hosting.
losing to like Panama all of a sudden.
How
And
embarrassing.
our manager is in soccer.
Yeah, he's what is he?
He's from
Puerto Rican or something?
Argentina. So like we're getting these ringers.
He's
like
actually a good
Jurgen
coach there.
Klinsmann, the guy from Argentina, and we still suck.
They
It's
need-
like the Suns. Like we now have two NBA champs coaches in a row with Vogel and Budenholzer, and they didn't even make the fucking playoffs.
Why do you say we when you refer to the Suns?
Because I took them on when they were winning 19 games a year.
Fair
When
enough.
I lived in Arizona for 8 years, and I was like, I already have a baseball team. I already have a hockey team. I already have a football team. Honestly, I was like,
Do you think I can say we,
I get what you're getting at.
the German national team? I think I can, right? I got rights there.
I don't think you've ever not had that, but I know what you're getting at when fans say we, which is incredibly lame. But I think I get that one because I'm like one of 4 Phoenix Suns fans in probably the entire county, and it's
Well, there's some people that liked him when they were good.
in
But now they suck
1993.
again. Now they suck
2006.
again. Was it 2 years ago or something?
3 years ago, they were 2 wins from the NBA Finals.
People like teams that
win.
are good. You know what I mean? So I have respect for people who like teams that suck.
Did you watch NBA this year? Are you still
Not really.
every
Too
time I
busy.
stay at your house, we're watching a classic 1997 NBA game
No, that's
because you're
because
stuck
the
in past.
'90s basketball was superior, and there's no possible argument against that position.
Are you stuck in the past though?
I just
You
Okay.
can adapt or die. Like I like the NBA, and
I
I've
don't.
got to adjust
I do
to
not.
how it looks now, or I'm not going to be watching any.
What do you like about the NBA now?
I like,
Every team plays the same and shoots threes.
and routinely it's 135 to
I don't like
161.
I don't like it.
I understand.
I liked Alonzo
Playoff
Mourning having
basketball
like back down
is coming up. That's unfortunately when things are really going to start, and they're going to play defense,
Fair enough.
and nobody's going to load manage, and the stars are going to finally, like come out. But I just decided, okay, I've got to like it as it is, or I'm not going to watch it at all.
I like the sport, so I'm gonna watch it. You know what I mean? Like I like basketball. I like playing basketball. I like watching basketball.
Do you want to go to a World Cup game next year?
Yes,
Seattle or LA?
I want to. Well, so you have to bid, right? Like it's a lottery. You can't just
Is
like
that
get
many
it.
people that want to go?
Yes, especially for specific teams. Like if I want to watch a German national team, you have to like put yourself in for a lottery to get into a
like
stadium.
hiking
I
Antelope
think I could be
Canyon.
wrong. But if I could watch a German national team in the U.S., it'd be like the coolest thing ever. I really want to do that. I'd fly it for wherever to do that.
Yeah.
Germany's back on top. They're looking good. Not on top, but they're looking good again. We should do that. That'd be fun.
Yeah. Here's what will happen.
We won't go.
I'll plan the entire thing, and I'll send you the itinerary.
Uh-huh.
You'll leave me on red, and then text me back a month later after the event's over and say, when are we going to the World Cup game?
Probably.
It's
It might be that.
You do realize you have read receipts on your text message.
I do.
Okay.
Here's the other thing, though. Every time I want to hang out with you, I always call you, and then you don't pick up. That's interesting.
Yeah, is it? It's interesting that that's never happened.
No, it does.
You
The last couple times we wanted to hang out, I was the one that always initiated, Chris. Do we need a mediator?
your text messaging
I hate
is
texting, dude.
abysmal.
Yeah, I don't
You're
like texting.
boomer-esque.
I don't like texting.
I send you like a perfectly curated, hey man,
I don't
let's
like
do
texting.
this, and you'll write back,
Sweet.
okay. Basically, go fuck yourself.
I love it. I love that everyone gets mad that I don't text.
You suck at texting.
It's
That's
because
how
I
it
put
is
in-
today. Adapt or die.
No, nope.
I have a friend who his personality compared to yours is far different. But like your funny friend, he's a friend that I would go to for like guidance on this situation.
Yeah.
Somebody I could super rely on for something. His text messaging is A1, peerless.
Yeah.
And like really thought out, well curated things.
Call me like a fucking adult.
I can't.
See, that is a weird character flaw.
In person,
and I'm not
on text.
I'm not going to play that. I want to talk to my friends like a human being.
When's a good time?
I don't want to be like, well, if I'm clever here and I just write a paragraph, I wonder, that's going to be so funny.
Yeah, and I'm giggling like a little schoolgirl.
Yeah, that's weird.
Little schoolgirl while I'm texting.
It's weird.
Okay, so the currency that Kev plays with is phone call.
Or audio text, dude.
I could do that.
I love those.
I always end up recording like 16 different times.
I love them.
Because I'm like, nope, not
No, like just make them funny, dude. It's also hilarious to have like a 10-second little riff. It's so funny.
I think I did about a year ago. I sang Creed to you.
I love that. I love that. I have another friend where I do that. He's so good at this. So you said your friend that no one cares about, who was kind of good at this or whatever, writing text. Well, so I am right. No one does care.
Andy from Toy Story. I actually exist outside of you just playing with me, taking me off the shelf. I've like dozens of friends that at my avail at any time for a titter.
Am I supposed to feel bad there?
I'm a jolly man with jolly friends.
Am I supposed to feel bad there? Was that what you were trying to do there?
Yes.
Interesting.
Can I please put on some clothes?
No, but let me just... I want to wrap this up, because this is an important point.
I wanted to establish dominance by...
that's never going to happen. That's never going to happen. Let's do the audio text moving on. Can we disagree on this?
Okay.
And then problem solved. Then we don't have to SMS text message.
What does that mean?
Like Zoomer kids being like, your text was lit. And you're going to be like, fire, bro.
You teach high schools, and yet you still think kids say lit?
They do actually still say lit. But they're white kids from Bozeman.
I love how that generation or whatever can go to school with fucking pajamas on because they never got out of that in COVID.
I figured this out, did I tell you? I know what my students dress like. I told them this to their face. I said, I know your style now. It's also might just be a Bozeman High thing to some degree. They dress like they're about to get on a domestic flight to like Tulsa. That's what they look like.
You're headed to Stockton.
Not anywhere like cool. You know what I mean?
You want comfort.
Yes.
You don't care about your perception. Yeah.
You probably rolled out of bed.
People usually dress up for flights.
Well, it used to be like an upper class thing. Now there's like people who like go to Burger King and they get on a plane. Yeah. You know what I mean?
This plane is actually sponsored by Burger King.
You can smell the Burger King.
That's actually how it goes.
Quick flight question.
I forgot what I was driving at a second ago. Really want to finish that. Don't you have like a newborn or something?
I have a child. Yeah. Her name's Eleanor. She's phenomenal.
Kudos to you for not naming her like Ella Tizzle, Ella Schlin.
Yeah.
Ashlyn Nor Lee.
Adelor. It's weird being a teacher because you see all the fad names from like when they were born.
Is there still a bunch of Nevaehs?
It's all the Irish names are really popular right now. Like there's a million Liams, you know what I mean? And like a million Adelaides. Wait, is Adelaide Irish? Or like what is it? Addisons, dude. I have so many.
Addison,
Addie,
yeah, and it's
Addison.
40,000 different ways.
There's like 17
SYN.
You're like, okay.
Yeah, when I was teaching in the US, it was everything ended in an N. Ashlyn, Mashlyn, Tegan,
yes,
Slegan.
There's still a lot of those too.
Yeah.
By the way, you just named your like career as a teacher, and I was thinking about
in the US, I taught.
Imagine if you had like an ESPN site for like teaching with like stats about like how you did.
Oh, that's in my Chiron underneath.
You know what I mean? You'd be like your face with like your... That was so funny. Like
my biggest claim to fame was I had the second best test scores in a district with 3,000 kids in it. But it was my first year there, so I think it was completely a fluke.
I think my best thing is that I have summers off.
And is that why you teach,
cool.
Kev?
It's pretty cool.
It's not about molding minds or little mama.
No, it actually is. I really actually like teaching about stuff that has nothing to do with German. I don't even like teaching German that much.
You're using it as a bridge.
I really am. I don't like the language that much. I really don't. Like I don't.
Guttural.
Yeah, and it's like Germans are not very good at a lot of things that I'm interested in. You know
I taught foreign language for a year and I got out of it. I was like, I'm just This is all rote memorization. It's not fun. English teaching was perfect for me because I could be bilingual. But
Gotcha.
yeah,
Well,
and
plus you got the canon though. Like, there's so much cool literature that you can teach, and you can talk about so many cool like aspects of life through like English literature. It's awesome.
it's
you know what I
a
mean?
versatile language because it takes in all these languages.
Yeah, but I mean, like, think
We
about
have like
the first
the
time
most synonyms out of any language. Like
Think about-
that's why the best writing is in English, I think.
I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, but I will say this. When, like, remember the first time reading like Catcher in the Rye or something like this? If you have a cool teacher that shepherds you through a book like that, that can like literally have like a major impact on you.
Do you remember the
You know what I
teacher
mean?
we had at sophomore year, basically when we got to know
Yes.
each other? And it was Grapes of Wrath and Moby Dick
Dude, that
and
book.
all that, and the Transcendentalist and the Anti-Transcendentalist.
As I Lay Dying, did you have to read that book?
I might have Cliff's Notes it, but
I was dying when I was reading that book. I just remember the moment where they were talking about the guy with the leg. Remember he had to put his leg in like a concrete cast?
that teacher, I think his name was Edwards,
Yeah. If you have
can-
a cool teacher that shepherds you through like a...
a book that
Or
Pull
maybe,
your hair back.
a book that deserves to... Because there's a reason it's in the canon, right? There's a reason it's there. Some teachers teach it and it's so boring. As a student, you're like, kill me, get me
Yeah,
out of here,
yeah.
right? But another teacher who gives a shit, or he has like a different perspective on it, that like maybe he read like something happened to him in his life, and he can like somehow synthesize that experience through the text, teach like a life experience through the text. Then you're like, holy shit, this book is incredible. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm talking about. I'm like, that's a good teacher. Because okay, let me ask you this question. Do you think teaching is hard? I don't think teaching is hard.
the execution of the lesson is the best part because that's when you get to go up there and perform in a sense. The part that is for me the hardest is making sure, or that was the hard, and I still teach, like I teach adult ed or whatever. It's lesson creation and following the standards and scaffolding and being like,
yeah.
okay, what's the end game, and then working backward and figuring out the pedagogy. This is why
gotcha.
I am so loath to support homeschool parents. Oh, you think that you're qualified
Yeah, there's a
in
lot
lesson
of that,
planning, pedagogy, pacing,
though. There's a lot of that in the world.
standards following,
Yeah.
formative and summative tests.
Yeah.
Like Tim Sheehy's wife, right? I'll never miss an opportunity to trash this guy. This carpet bagging non-Montanan who thinks he can run our state, just like Gianforte and the rest of those phony Montanans.
Yeah.
His wife is a stay-at-home mom, Arya. Yeah, with 4 kids. Yeah,
There is a
lesson planning
Yeah.
for how many kids, all of those levels. Yeah, that would take hours and hours every day.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that a lot of homeschool parents are just following a curricula that they're subscribed to and throwing a kid in front of the screen.
But let me ask you just this. Do you think that somebody with not that much skill can just teach something and call themselves a teacher? You know what I mean? Because that's like you're making the point right now. Like homeschool parents can just
say,
like get
"I'm a
like a
teacher
downloaded like whatever module and then like a rubric and like just kind of do it. You know what I mean? And I think most people could do this. I think most people, if you gave them a little bit of time to prepare, could present content in with some sort of grading style and rubric and like get that across. Now, if it's effective or not, I don't know. My point is only like the level of entry for teachers. I think you don't have to be gifted at all to be a teacher. Yeah.
It's basically, do you have a 4-year degree?
Yes. Or maybe not
And
even that,
in Arizona,
Yeah.
I spent all this time getting a post-baccalaureate degree because you couldn't just have a bachelor's to teach, and so I went and got this other degree. And then as soon as I got it, like within months, they're like, "Yeah, just kidding. We don't
need it."
Anybody who had anything in any kind of bachelor's didn't matter. You were a teacher now.
Yeah.
You just had to get that certification.
Yeah. I guess my point is like this. So anybody can be a kind of a teacher. But then it's like, what makes a good teacher? In my opinion, a good teacher is somebody who teaches like the shit that they hold, that changed their life or they hold dear. They synthesize that through the content and they can deliver that. So you're not really teaching only the content. You're like teaching life. And the people that are really good at that are the ones you remember.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
I know the other side of that. Like they implant themselves in every lesson, but they don't shut the fuck up about themselves. Okay, so like when you're a teacher, the best part of it is that for most of the time, you're kind of like your own country, not your own boss. But then those like Wednesday meetings, you're like, oh, it's like United Nations now. Everybody from all their own places and all their own rules, they go and they got to like play ball and it was like having a second job where you needed to like play nice and you're not in charge anymore. So many teachers, not going to call out anybody from any of my former jobs. I'm just going to say, I know I would not have learned in an environment in which somebody is constantly putting themselves into it, but like not tying it into the lesson, just talking about themselves.
Well,
A lot of teachers
we talked
are
about
complete
this.
narcissists.
Yes, we talked about this. Here's the question. It's
They
like,
just like to hear themselves talk.
yes, well, it's more like, are you teaching because you want like the respect and admiration of your peers? Right? Because those are the people that love the meetings. Those are people like, oh, I can't wait to talk about this new process or this new way of approaching like standardized whatever.
Toxic positivity.
No, not necessarily that, but it's like some people just like to talk with other adults about how to do shit. Like my thing is like, I want to make a cool experience for my kids. That's the number one thing.
100%. Like it,
You know what I mean?
hated that part of the job that was towing the line, playing by like it was adult world, and then
And then Chris Lilly World with your kids,
Chris
right?
Lilly World.
Yes,
but
exactly.
and I know I already said this in previous podcasts, but I was like a fucking diva wide receiver as far as all that other nuts and bolts stuff with trying not to get.
Yeah, and I think it's because your priority was in the classroom for your kids. In my opinion, that's where it should be. That's where your priority should be.
The reason why the trustees and school board members would come to my class and like a couple other classrooms when the boss wanted to show off her show ponies. You're not going to see me at my duty. You're not going to see me chaperoning the dance without having my phone on because the NBA playoffs are on. Like it just.
I mean, here's the thing. There is a level of like worrying about the process, like the how we do stuff, instead of like the why we do stuff. You know what I mean?
The meta stuff.
I didn't like high school. I did not have a good time then. You know, I was like,
College crushed high school.
oh, dude, not even close.
My last year of high school, I liked. I was writing for the paper.
I was
I'd found like my angle. Was doing well in school. Like I was a complete social pariah my freshman year of high school. And by the end of it, it was like walking down the street, delivering mail and saying hi to every single person and have something to kibitz about personally with every single person. I'll say person like 16 more times.
Mm-hmm.
And
English teacher.
a lot of lexicon flexing there. And then by college, I sort of found my way a little bit. And that whole high school is the best time of your life. What are you talking
cringe.
about?
Well, hold on. Here's the other thing. It's like, I tell my students this all the time. I was like, you might not know what you like, which is so intimidating. Like if you're 16, 17 years old and you don't know what you're into, and you feel like a loser because you're like, my God, everybody has like, they're like shooting for the stars and they're figuring out they're going to want to go to Columbia as their first choice and the second choice. And then there's like all these scholarships and sports scholarships and all this shit.
Are you an indecisive person?
Well, in high school, absolutely. Yeah. But I just feel like now, if you are like that kind of a kid, you're just like the quiet kid who doesn't have their shit together. And that bothers the hell out of me because, like, sometimes it takes some time to figure out what you're into. But that's not how anybody addresses that. You know what I mean? All the adults are like, you better figure this shit out now. You know? And it's like, well, maybe, like, not enough doors have opened yet for me to know what I want to do.
Yeah.
And so, like, when I think about teaching, I think about, I just want some kid to find something that they're kind of into. If I can facilitate that, that is so cool.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
It's great to say, okay, I'm supportive of you. I think that you should try out everything until you land on something. Yeah. I never subscribed to that idea. That I was in Arizona Teaching Fellows, which is like Teach for America version on the local. Basically, your only path to living a livelihood that's worth a damn is going to college.
Yeah, like the success metrics, right?
Which it's just that whole pipeline is bullshit. Like
it is
you
actually
make way
bullshit,
more money as a plumber than you do with somebody with a liberal arts degree. I'm speaking from experience.
Yeah, but I mean that's anecdotal. All the statistics show that if you have a degree, you're going to make more money
over time.
Yeah,
over time.
I understand your point, though.
It's not the only way to be successful.
No, exactly. And I think that's the message, right? It's like telling a kid, like, oh, you don't have your shit together, and being like, that's okay. Just go to college and see.
Try everything.
Just try some shit out. You know what I mean?
But
not a lot of people have that message anymore, because now it's like, well, if you don't have it figured out by junior, senior year, how much are you going to care about your ACT scores? And then what if your ACT scores are... It's like... Well,
out here, it's a pipeline for working at ranches. Like that's why they work.
Three Forks is different though.
It's such an athletics dominated school because athletics is a pipeline for.
Bozeman High is the best high school in the state.
Agricultural work. Yeah, I
mean,
the
number one high school in the state, so it's like all this prestigious shit.
It's like top whatever when we went there.
Was it?
I felt like I had a really good education, and
I was
my
such an
wife
idiot.
says that, and I'm in no way an academic. I just know I'm
Yeah,
not.
well, that's the
I just
everybody
know
knows that.
I'm not
Everybody
a-
knows that.
We'll break in a sec. I'd like to start cocktail hour. My wife is somebody who's now enrolled in school, getting her.
Which is cool, by the way.
Yeah,
I think
she's
it's awesome.
almost, and she's in her 30s and she's getting her degree
I
finally.
think it's wonderful.
And she has worked as a librarian for a long, long time and worked with kids and all that, but like is finally buckling down to do it. And she's the smartest person, one of the smartest people I know, but just never had a 4-year college degree.
Yeah.
And there's no world that exists that's somebody
Yes.
with a college degree is smarter than somebody that doesn't have one. It just shows that you were able to complete a long-term project.
Yeah, but I think that that's kind of a metric that matters, right? Well, that's not the only one, though. That's
the biggest
one piece.
foot in the door.
Yeah. When you go to college, you end up building relationships, the networking thing that gets people ahead of the curve, right?
Yeah.
That's the big piece of it. It's like the social networking where it's like, you know what, not only where people want to go, you know where they end up. And if you're good at facilitating those relationships, those doors will open
If
for
you
you. You know what I mean?
know what you're doing, dude. Like
Yeah. Well, I mean, like down the line, right? Like,
Yeah.
if you start, you're taking like general ed stuff as a freshman. That doesn't really matter that much. But as you specialize, especially if you get into like a postgraduate degree, then things change. You know
But
what
then
I mean?
we're talking post-grad. I'm just talking like a 4-year...
Wait, graduate degree. Sorry.
Well, yeah,
graduate.
Post-grad is like PhD.
Yeah. I jumped the gun there.
Do you want a break?
Yes.
Okay. We'll bring the thunder on that next part. I thought it was...